TV show, Bio is Life. So I hope everyone is doing okay in this pandemic situation. So anyway, today we have invited a few famous fromagers in this whole world. Actually, fromager is a French word. So anyway, with us here is Tasha, Hasha, Wawa, and Amri. Thank you for coming to our TV show. For today's episode, I would like to talk about a food that everyone in this world loves. Cheese. So, do you know what is cheese? Does everyone in this studio know what is cheese? Cheese is a dairy product that is derived from milk and produced in wide range of flavors and textures and formed by coagulation of milk protein casein. It comprises protein and fats from milk, usually from milks of cows, buffalo, goats, or sheep. There are variety type of cheese in this world. Actually, there are 8 type of cheese in this world. First is soft cheese, semi-soft cheese, firm cheese, hard cheese, blue cheese, fresh or unripened cheese, light cheese, and even processed cheese. Okay, so Mr. Amri, as you know, you are a popular person in cheese industry, right? So you must know what is the principle of microorganism in cheese. Can you explain it to us?
Thank you, Atika, for your fantastic introduction, and you look so beautiful today. Okay, I will tell you about one by one about 8 simple principles with a simple elaboration so you guys can understand a little bit what I'm saying right now. Okay, the first step is the setting of the milk. In this step, there are 3 important things in this process, which is the milk, the starting of the culture, and the coagulant. Okay, the first, milk. Fresh milk obtained from a healthy cow or other animal that may serve as a source of milk should be cooked rapidly. The second, starting of the culture. One or several species of lactic acid are commonly added to the pre-warmed milk. The kind of cheese to be made determine which microorganism added to the milk. Different type of cheese, different type of microorganism will be added. And the third is the coagulant, which is rennet. What is rennet is? Rennet is a type of enzyme. It will react with the percussin in the milk, forming precipitate called coagulant. Next, the second step is the second process is the cutting of the coagulant. In this coagulated milk, in this step, coagulated milk is cut using rectangular frame with a thin horizontal and vertical on wire. The third step is the cooking of coagulant. After the coagulant is cut, the cube of coagulant suspended in the way and heated to the given temperature in a specific time. This heating accompanied by stirring of the curd whey mixture and cause the cube of curd to contract and thus express free whey. Fourth step is the draining of the whey. After cooking is completed, whey is removed from the curd. This can be accomplished by draining whey from the vat that contains the whey curd mixture, using appropriate precaution to prevent the loss of the curd. An alternative method designated as dipping, involving the scooping of the curd from the whey curd mixture. Fifth step is the kneading of the curd. This step allow for further production of lactic acid and for modification of the curd particles so they will adhere to each other and form a single mass of cheese. The texture of the cheese is partially determined by this process. And the sixth step is the salting of the curds. The salt that being used sodium chloride is applied to the curd. The adding of the salt process contribute to the flavor, texture, and the appearance of the cheese. It also control the production of lactic acid, suppress the growth of spoiler microorganism, and further reduce the amount of moisture in finished cheese. The seventh step is the pressing of the curd. The curd are placed into a form, sometimes called hoop, and pressure is applied hydraulically and putting weight on cheese by the this process are for the texture of the cheese. And the eighth is the ripening of the cheese. The finished cheese is placed in a room with a controlled temperature and relative humidity, and is held there for several months to several years, depending on the variety of the cheese and the extent of the ripening that is desired. Ripening allows for enzymatically induced change to occur in the protein and the fat fraction of the cheese. This change transforms the freshly made cheese into one with desired and characteristic flavor, texture, and aroma.
Thank you for your explanation, Mr. Amri. Next, we have Miss Hasha, who is not only cute, but also expert on how the cheese is produced. So, Miss Hasha, can you explain it to us on how the cheese is made? Since I know that everyone who is watching our show right now are pretty curious on how the cheese is made.
First of all, thanks to Miss Ika for inviting me to this show, Bio for Life. Basically, there are 6 important steps in cheese production, which is acidification, coagulation, separating curds and whey, shaping, and ripening. First step is acidification. In this step, a starter culture will added to the milk to change the lactose to lactic acid. Acidity level of milk will change and turn the milk from liquid to solid. Second step in cheese production is coagulation. In this step, an enzyme called rennet is added either as a liquid or paste to encourage the milk to solidify. Third step is curds and whey. When the milk is solidified, it will form curds, which is the solid part, and the whey, which is the liquid. As the whey is not used in the cheese production, it can be drained away, while the curds will be used in the cheese production. Fourth step in the cheese production is the salting process. The salt can be act as the preservative so that the cheese does not spoil. Salting process, the salt can be directly added to the curd, or the outside of the wheel of cheese can be rubbed with the salt. The fifth step is shaping. In this process, the cheese will be put into a basket or a mold to form a specific shape. The cheese also will be pressed to expel the remaining liquid. The last process in the cheese production is ripening. In this process, the temperature and humidity will be monitored to ensure the cheese will reach the optimal ripeness. So I think that's all from me.
I never know to produce a cheese, it has to undergo a very complicated process. After we know how to produce a cheese, of course we want to know what is the applications of the cheese and what are other variants of cheese to our daily life, right? So Miss Tasha, can you explain it to us?
Thank you to Miss Ika for giving me the opportunity to explain the application of the cheese and the variants of the cheese. So the first application of the cheese is when milk acidification in cheese making. Okay, what we do is we simply add puree to the milk during the cheese making. So the result is the mild and pleasant taste will produce. Okay, why it produce the pleasant and mild taste is because the extremely reduction of pH happen there. It can be applied directly on the surface of the cheese. For example, on the surface of the far-ripened cheese. Well, I say this because Verded F95 is the well suited to control yeast and mold in dairy. Not just that, It is also can be applied as the ingredient of the coating layer. Maybe some of you guys didn't know what is in the Faraday F95. So Faraday F95 is consists of organic acid salts and predominantly propionate. The third one is ricotta coagulation. Okay, by adding purite to the ricotta cheese, we can change the protein structure by coagulating the albumin and globulin. It will produce the great texture and natural dairy-like flavor. Fourth, or the last one, application of the cheese is mozzarella preservation. Okay, when puree active is added to the mozzarella brine, it will preserve the freshness and elasticity of the brine. So the result is it will preserving the color and lightness of the product. Okay, let's move to the variants of the cheese. I know most of the audience are waiting for this, right? Okay, mozzarella has a mild flavor with soft and chewy texture. There's a lot of dishes which is using the mozzarella cheese. Popular dishes which is use the mozzarella cheese is lasagna and pizza. You can also use the mozzarella while eating salad or making sandwich. The next one is feta cheese. Okay, it is popular while making a salad because it has a bit tangy and salty flavor. Okay, the next one is cheddar cheese. Okay, cheddar cheese is the highly nutritious and rich in calories. Okay, for those who want to gain weight, you can try cheddar cheese. Okay, Miss Ika, I think I'm done explaining the application of the cheese and the variants of the cheese.
Thank you, Ms. Tasha, for your explanation. I am sure that not everyone knows about the applications of cheese and its other variants. So after Ms. Tasha giving her explanation, I am sure that our audience knows more about cheese applications and other variants. Cheese is famous for making our food become more delicious. Okay, we have know about the principle of the microorganism in the cheese. We have know ways to produce cheese. We also know the applications and other variants of cheese. Miss Wawa, is there any extra information that we can take note?
Hi, thank you Miss Atika for asking. But before that, allow me to introduce myself first. My name is Najwa Sharira binti Zamsari. You can call me Wawa. My ID number is PA20095. I love food very much. Well, who doesn't, right? So to answer Miss Atika's question, there are a few things I would love to share. First of all, cheese always have the bad impression as it is an unhealthy food for us to eat. But did you guys really know the reasons why it is bad for us? I don't think so. Well, here I am going to share this wonderful information with you guys. So first of all, since many cheeses have a high fat content, they are also shown to put heart health at risk. Eating cheese has been linked to heart attacks, and this means cheese can be harmful for your health. Next, the misconception that cheese is natural. What? Okay, cheese might not be as natural as you think. Dairy products like cheese contain ingredients that are not natural. Consuming high amounts of PGH can be harmful to your health and have a lasting effect. Last but not least, you probably have heard that cheese and dairy products are good for kids because they help to build strong bones. However, this might not actually be the case. Children that eat high amounts of cheese have been seen to develop chronic ear problems, and even deal with many respiratory ailments. Giving your child a lot of cheese might not be such a good idea. Despite having those disadvantages, actually not many people really knew that cheese also have their own benefits for human health. So, what are them? What are the benefits? So first of all, cheese can prevent osteoporosis, which is a bone disease. Increasing your calcium and protein intake with cheese can keep your bones strong and help prevent osteoporosis, which is the bone disease. Next, cheese also can keep your teeth strong and prevent expensive dental work that results from decay. Your teeth are made up of the same substances as your bones. So just as cheese is beneficial for your bone health, it can also have positive effects on your dental health. Lastly, with proper choices and preparation, cheese can be a good choice for pregnant women to receive vitamins and minerals necessary for healthy fetal development.
Wow, there's actually a lot of things I don't know about cheese. Thank you, Miss Wawa, for sharing this useful information. Sadly, we have reached to the end of our today episode. Thank you for our guest who is willing to come and share their information with us. Stay safe everyone and make sure to follow all the SOP given, okay? Stay tuned for our next episode. Today I am your host Nurul Atika and you are now watching the knowledgeable but fun TV show Bio is Life.